So today in this lecture, we are going to discuss De Moivre's theorem. De Moivre's theorem and later on application of its. This is continued word, De Moivre's theorem. There is no space. So I will make statement first. What do you mean by De Moivre's theorem? As in the exercise lectures, we have defined the Euler's quantity, that is a raised to I theta is cos of theta plus I sin theta. And when you write conjugate of this means minus sign here. Okay, I'll write plus or minus. Here also we'll get plus or minus like that. So we are thinking about what will the power of this cos theta plus I sin theta in the De Moivre's theorem. If n is okay, there are two parts of this statement. First part, if n is any integer, maybe positive, negative, or zero. If n is any integer, that integer is positive or negative or zero, then the cos of theta plus I sin theta, its power n, that n is integer positive or negative. Okay, zero power means we can write 1. Huh? So I exclude that 0. Cos theta plus I sin theta raised to n can be written as cos of n theta plus I sin n theta. Look, this power is just multiplied to the angle of this, plus real part has to be cos theta. In fact, it's e raised to I theta term. So this is for integer, and I'll write for fraction positive or negative. Second statement. But as per the fractional power concern, will not write equal to, because when you say square root, it has two roots. So one value will be that value. When you take say cube root or when you say cube root, it may have, by fundamental theorem of algebra, it may have q values. Among that q values, one value will be this. That type of statements we are mentioning here. If n is fraction, if n is fraction, this fraction may be positive or negative. Fraction may be positive or negative. Positive or negative. Then one of the values of whose value one of the values of this cos theta plus I sin theta raised to n. N is fractional, that may be p upon q. It depends whether p upon q is positive or negative. So one of this value is this cos of n theta plus I sin n theta. Now we are going to do this. When you apply this inverse formula, it will get directly the answer, but we have to apply here the principle of mathematical inductions while proving this. So there are two cases. In the first, we want to prove of this. So case 1, when n is a positive integer, n is positive integer, that is natural number. When this n is positive integer, we have to prove the statement cos of theta plus I sin theta raised to n is cos of n theta plus I sin theta. Do you know about the law of induction, the law of principle of mathematical inductions? We prove this by law of induction or principle of mathematical induction. Principle of mathematical induction. So what is it? I will tell you. Suppose some persons may do up down from somewhere. Suppose Udgir to Latur, and there is some Asta mode stop is there, and one particular bus is going daily at fixed time. Suppose non-stop bus at 7 a.m. it comes at Asta mode from Udgir at 7 a.m. If it comes whole year at 7 a.m., so by law you can say that its time is 7 AM. ती बस बरोबर 7 ला येते. आपल्याला असं इन जनरल मध्ये प्रूव्ह करायचं म्हणजे n इक्वल टू 1 साठी प्रूव्ह करायचं आहे, 2 साठी प्रूव्ह करायचं आणि मग यासाठी इन जनरल सर्वच n साठी आपल्याला हे प्रूव्ह करायचं या ठिकाणी. दॅट इज द प्रिन्सिपल ऑफ लॉ ऑफ इंडक्शन. So law of induction I will state. We have to verify that the given statement is true. These statements we are going to prove. This statement is true for n equal to 1. This is the first case, first part. When this statement is true for n equal to k, the prove that statement is for n equal to k plus 1. That is, if bus is coming today at 7 o'clock, show that tomorrow also bus comes at 7 o'clock. So today, tomorrow will come all day. सर्व दिवस त्या ठिकाणी येऊन जातात. So all day bus comes at the same time. So we have to prove the statement for n equal to 1. If it is true for n equal to 1, then assume that statement is true for n equal to k or n equal to m. And prove that very next integer the same statement holds. If it is true, then it is true for every natural number, every integer. That is the law of inductions. So as usual, we have to think when n is 1. The induction law in detail we are going to discuss in the unit 1. That is a part of number theory. So when you put n equal to 1, result is true, because you can see right hand side is this, and what is left hand side? Cos of 1 into theta is cos theta, and sin of 1 into theta is sin theta. So result holds for n equal to 1. Result holds for n equal to 1. Okay. So this is true. Next, suppose that result holds for n equal to m, and prove that it holds for next integer n equal to m plus 1. Assume करायचं n equal to m साठी हा रिझल्ट ट्रू आहे, आणि प्रूव्ह करायचं जर n ची किंमत आपण m plus 1 ठेवली तर ह्या ठिकाणी सुद्धा ट्रू होते. म्हणजे सर्व नॅचरल नंबर साठी ते स्टेटमेंट काय असते? ट्रू असतो. So we are supposing the first part. What we are supposing? Suppose that this is holding for the number case m. So cos of n theta plus I sin m theta, and we want to prove it for. We want to show that when you consider cos theta plus I sin theta raised to m plus 1, and when you expand this, you will get here m plus 1, you will get here m plus 1. That we want to prove. If you prove, then you can say that it is true for every n, every natural number, every positive integer. Positive integer means natural number. So by the law of indices, I can write this as cos theta plus I sin theta raised to m, and cos of theta plus I sin theta, the separation of that m plus 1. And now for m it holds. Okay, by 1 I can write, by 1 what is it? Cos of m theta plus I sin m theta. And this is cos theta plus I sin theta. And I have proved, I use the remark that, okay, this is cis of m theta, and this is cis of theta. So what is the product? It is cis of just addition of these two angles, cis of m theta plus theta. So what it means? It is cos of, I take theta common, cos of m plus 1 theta plus I sin m plus 1 theta. Or you just do the product. You just do the product, you will get cos of a plus b and sin of a plus b as a part of real and imagined part. A will be m theta and b will be theta. So I can apply the remark. The cis alpha into cis beta is cis alpha plus beta. I am using the yesterday's remark. Cis of alpha into cis of beta is cis alpha plus beta. And another remark was taken, cis alpha divided by cis beta, it is just cis of alpha minus beta. So these two remarks on which the first is applied here. So you can see it holds for m equal to 1. The statement or result holds for n equal to m plus 1. So similarly, it holds for m plus 2, m plus 3, and in general all. So that is induction principle. Thus, result holds for all natural number. The statement is true for all. So by principle of mathematical induction, cos of theta plus I sin theta raised to n is nothing but cos of n theta plus I sin n theta, where n belongs to natural number. That we have verified it for positive integer. So second case, we are proving the first result. Now second case, suppose n is negative integer. Suppose this n is negative integer. So that means n equal to minus m for some negative integer. Means if it is minus 5, then 5 is positive integer. For some positive integer, m. Okay. So we are now here. We are not going to apply any inductions. We just start with cos of theta plus I sin theta, and this n is the negative integer. We want to prove that it is cos of n theta plus I sin n theta. So I put value of that n as minus m, and keep in mind this minus m is positive integer. So because of this minus sign, I can write this as 1 upon cos of theta plus I sin theta raised to m because of that negative power. So now m is positive integer by case 1. M is positive integer. So it is 1 upon cos of m theta plus I sin m theta by case 1, because m is positive integer, as m is positive integer. So you rationalize denominator, cos of m theta minus I sin m theta divided by cos of m theta plus I sin m theta multiply by cos of m theta minus I sin m theta. So what is the denominator? It is just z into z bar. So it is mod z square. Rationalization के लिए denominator और numerator का असल cos of m theta minus I sin m theta. So it is divided by cos square m theta plus it, in fact it is minus I square become plus sin square m theta, which is 1. And on numerator I can write cos of minus theta is cos theta, and sin of minus theta is minus sin theta. So minus sin is merged inside. So what is value of minus m? The value of minus m, you assume it as n, as n is your minus m. So we have proved in this case cos theta plus I sin theta raised to n becomes cos of n theta plus I sin n theta when n is negative integer. When this n is negative integer. So first part is proved. What is the first part? What is the first part? If n is any integer, positive, we apply the law of inductions. Negative, we just prove case 1 by considering this. So this is your statement holds for all integers. Now the second part of this theorem, that was the first part. What is second part of this theorem? We are taking the fractional power of this. Let n be the fractional. Let n be the fraction means p upon q form. Fraction may be positive or negative. That may be positive or negative. Okay, suppose the fractional number as n, p upon q. When you write fraction, your denominator sum should not equal to 0, and PRQ will be such that their GCD will be 1. Otherwise, what will happen? If P is 2 and Q is 4, then we know what is 2 upon 4. 2 upon 4 is 1 upon 2. So clearing numerator and denominator, the final representation. That means P and Q have no common factor. That is, its GCD is 1. B is a q not equal to 0 is positive integer, and sign of that will depends on numerator p positive or negative, and p is in integer, and numerator part is any integer. It depends whether number is positive or negative. That's why I say any integer. If number is positive, then it is positive. If number is negative, then it is negative. But denominator has to be not equal to 0. And keep in mind, p and q have no common factor. If you have any questions, you can ask at any time by unmuting yourself. Okay. Now, from the first case, I will just consider instead of theta again by above first case. In the proof, we are using first case. Instead of theta, I can write theta upon q plus I sine theta upon q. If I take its qth power, what is it? Can you tell me? If I take its qth power, this is equal to cos of q multiplied by theta by q plus I sine. In the case 1, we have taken theta equal to theta by 2, q multiplied by theta by q. So in fact, it is cos of theta plus I sine. Okay, this is. Taking qth root of both sides now to cancel this. Taking qth root of both sides. Now qth root means it has q values. Taking qth root of both sides. Taking qth root of both sides, you get. Now I am saying values. The one of value of who? Cos theta plus I sine theta. Taking qth root means applying 1 upon q power is cos of theta by q plus I sine theta by q. That q and 1 upon q will get cancelled. Taking q root of both sides. Now, when you take square root, you have two values. When you take cube root, it has three values. Among that, one value will be this. So you don't write equal to 1. When you take q root of this right hand side, left hand side's one value will be this. So I am not saying equal to because it has total q values. So out of q values, this is the one value. Now taking pth power to both sides. Taking pth power to both sides. Then one of the value of cos of theta plus I sine theta. Now 1 upon q raised to p, that is p by q, is cos theta by q plus I sine theta by q, where this p is any integer, positive or negative. So once again, I will write, I just apply De Moivre's theorem case 1 here by multiplying p. So one of the value of cos theta plus I sine theta raised to p by q is cos of p by q theta plus I sine p by q theta. So I have called already p upon q as n. So finally we proved that one of the value of hence one of the value of cos theta plus I sine theta when n is a fractional number is cos of n theta plus I sine n theta. I'm not saying exactly one value is equal to this value. There will be total n values. Not n values, there will be total q values. It depends on the fractional part. Now, the theorem is completely proof for all rational numbers. Every integer we have proved, and it is proof for all rational numbers. So, by this theorem, I can. You have any query regarding this theorem at any point? Keep this statement in mind. Or somebody directly prove that e raised to I theta raised to n will be e raised to I n theta. And what is e raised to I n theta? It is cos of n theta plus I sin n theta. But when we have to prove the fractional part, that means you are taking q root of both sides. As in the theory of equations, there will be total q roots when you're taking q root of both sides. I think no questions so far, so I can move forward by taking note on this. Note on this: the total number of values about total number of values in the case when n is fractional, when n is fraction, that is okay, lowest term, that means clearing denominator and numerator, right? The lowest term, positive or negative, किती असेल याचा total number of values? समजा q root घेतलं तर total number of values काय असेल? q असेल is equal to the denominator of the fraction n. The denominator of important note fraction n. n हा fraction 2/3 असेल तर total number of values 3 असतील. 2/3 चा denominator काय 3 आहे त्याप्रमाणे. So this will be note 1, and writing note 2. We didn't make a case of irrational number. So there will be total infinite number of values out of infinite many values, because irrational representation you have infinite representation. There is no 2/3 p/q form unique येत नाही त्या ठिकाणी. Irrational numbers we know well. If n is irrational number out of infinitely many values, of कोणाचा cos of theta plus I sin theta raised to n, one value is cos of n theta plus I sin n theta. One value is equal to this value. There are total, if n is irrational number, then there are total infinite many values, and among all these infinite many values, this is the one value. So these two are the important note. I'm writing corollary to this statement. Corollary 1. I'm just putting minus sign in between. Okay, instead of corollary, I will directly prove it. Cos of minus theta, you know, it is minus cos theta, and sin of minus theta is minus sin theta is sin of minus theta. So here n is 1, so I can write cos is written as minus 1 into theta, and sin is written as minus 1 into theta. So I can write this as cos of theta plus I sin theta raised to minus 1. So raised to minus 1 ची व्हॅल्यू या ठिकाणी दिली असेल जर आपण, ती काय असेल? Cos of theta minus I sin theta, that is cos theta plus I sin theta चा इनवर्स काढायला गेलो आपण, तो काय असेल? Cos of theta minus I sin theta. Here after we can use directly this as a formula. Then second corollary, I take nth power of this term, cos of theta minus I sin theta raised to n. So what is it? In fact, it is cos of theta plus I sin theta raised to minus 1, and its power is n. So it is cos theta plus I sin theta raised to minus n. And you can write this as cos of minus n theta plus I sin minus n theta. N is the natural number of positive integer. And then this is equal to cos of negative angle is cos of n theta, but sine you get minus sine here. So De Moivre's theorem apply to negative sine also. That is the second corollary. And third corollary, you can tell me the output of this. What is the value of 1 upon cos theta plus I sin theta? H value काय असेल? ते वरती लिहिलं तर -1 आहे म्हणजे H value असेल cos of theta minus I sin theta. And if I write minus here, I have to write plus here. So keep those things in mind. There is a questions you should take. The real part has to be cos and imaginary part has to be sine. Questions means you have to take care of this. It should be noted that note that if I write sine theta plus I cos theta and raised to n, it is not equal to sine n theta plus I cos n theta, because real part has to be cos and imaginary part has to be sine. Second quotation question is that if I take cos alpha and imaginary part as sine beta, if alpha and beta are different, this is also not equal to cos of n alpha plus I sin n beta if alpha is different from beta. So these two are the questions हे काळजी घ्यायची आपल्याला. So angle must be same for this cosine and sine. Angle must be same for this cosine and sine, and cos must be real part. If angles are same, then cos must be real part and sine must be the imaginary part. Then and then your De Moivre's theorem holds very well. So cis alpha and the notation आपण काल discuss केलेच होते. One example and then we have time. Okay. Simplify following. Cos of 4 theta plus I sin 4 theta raised to 3. Cos of 2 theta minus I sin 2 theta raised to 5. Denominator. Now this, by due to De Moivre's theorem, this calculations becomes easier one. One step we can get cos of 3 theta plus I sin 3 theta raised to what? 4. Next, cos of 5 theta minus I sin 5 theta. This is raising 6. We have to simplify this. We are going to simplify this. So De Moivre's theorem you are going to apply. So this 4 can come out. Look at this. Cos theta plus I sin theta raised to 4 into 3. Raised to 4 raised to 3. Second, cos of 2 theta for negative also it holds, we have written there. Cos of theta minus I sin theta. But if you don't want to write minus, then minus 2 can be taken out here. Minus 2 multiplied by 5. I can write this as cos of 2 theta minus I sin 2 theta as cos of minus 2 into theta plus I sin minus 2 into theta. And that's why minus 2 is taken out. So if you want to balance all the base, so denominator cos of theta plus I sin theta raised to 3 into 4. And here minus 5 can be taken out. Cos theta plus I sine theta minus 5 is taken out into 6. So look out, this 4 into 3 and 3 into 4 looks like same. So that can be get vanished. These are the same term, it can get cancelled. So finally, cos of theta plus I sine theta raised to minus 10 divided by cos of theta plus I sine theta raised to minus 30. वरती ज्यावेळेस जाईल तो प्लस होईल, म्हणजे काय, cos of theta plus I sine theta raised to minus 10 cos of theta plus I sine theta. I am writing denominator term as numerator, so it would be plus 30. So what is the final value? Final value of this is cos theta plus I sine theta raised to minus 10 plus 30, that is law of indices. So it is cos of theta plus I sine theta raised to 20. So this gives cos of 20 theta, cos of 20 theta plus I sine 20 theta, and that is the answer. So that is the simplification of this. This is the simplification of it. Now mark your attendance. Attendance marker. Second example to simplify. We have to simplify cos theta plus I sine theta divided by, now here slight changes there, sine is real part. We have to directly, we cannot apply De Morgan's theorem here. Okay, numerator has 3 power. Numerator has 3 power and denominator has 4 power. So we have to simplify separately. Numerator is okay, raised to 3 is okay. But for denominator, how I can write this? Sine theta plus I cos theta raised to 4. I cannot write sine 4 theta plus I cos 4 theta. I cannot write, but I can write sine in terms of cos. What is sine theta? It is cos of pi by 2 minus theta. And it is sine of pi by 2 minus theta. You can check by trigonometrical identity, and this is going to raise to 4. This is going to raise to 4. So what next? Now the angles are same. This is theta dash, I can say. So by De Morgan's theorem, I can write cos of 4 multiplied by pi by 2 minus theta plus I sine 4 multiplied by pi by 2 minus theta. So this is cos of 2 pi minus 4 theta. This is I sine 2 pi minus 4 theta. So what is 2 pi minus 4 theta cos? Cos 2 pi minus 4 theta is cos of 4 theta plus sine 2 pi minus 4 theta काय असेल? What is value of sine 2 pi minus 4 theta? It is minus I sine 4 theta. So actually the value of this is this. So it is cos theta plus I sine theta raised to minus 4. The numerator value is this actually. Now I can put there. I can put what is in fact this value. That problem is cos theta plus I sine theta raised to 3 divided by sine theta plus I cos theta raised to 4. The denominator value is calculated cos theta plus I sine theta. What is the denominator value? It is cos theta, okay, this power is 3. Cos theta plus I sine theta raised to minus 4. So it is cos theta plus I sine theta is base is same. So 3 numerator becomes plus. So this is cos of 7 theta plus I sine 7 theta. And that is the answer of this. So in this way, De Morgan's theorem can be applied to solve the problems.